All right. Gonna assume this is all working properly. And yeah, I'm just gonna get right into it. I don't even know what's going on right now. It's been one of those crazy kind of mornings. Actually, it's been a pretty chill morning. Had a lot to do. Now I'm trying to settle in, and I'm kind of remember where I stopped. Everything's been sanded. I know that. I think I have to fill some. I need to fill gaps. And prime. I think that's what I'm gonna try to get done today. Which is not gonna make for exciting YouTubing, but you know, it's Sunday. There's not a whole lot of people watching. Get into it. Where is my new friend, the curing putty? There you are. Honestly, this has just become my go-to now. Like, it's just so easy to work with. You can shape it. You can, I hope this thing is charged. I didn't even think to check my flashlight here. But yeah, I mean, you can shape it. It doesn't move around. You know, you don't need a whole bunch to fill, you know, spots. You do kind of just a thin covering. But you can build it up too if you need to, which is really nice. Yeah, this is good shit. I'm gonna make sure I put on some protective lenses. And let me get a paper towel so that if I make any mess, deal with it later. And go ahead and attach a few of these parts, make them easier to work on. What else do I need? Possibly a little sculpting tool. These little silicone tools come in really handy for moving and manipulating this bunker coal light curing putty. What else do I need? Possibly a little wooden stir stick to get in there, get inside of this guy. It's a little stiffer. All right, I think I got it. So, I guess there are a couple obvious spots like this guy. That one is good. Nothing to patch. Nothing to repair those. These Wolverine claws turned out so good. Nothing to patch there. It does have this hole, but I don't think you can see it when he's in position. Nope, I was wrong. You can see that clear shit. Oh, I'll have to do that. I think I'm gonna keep most of the parts separate. It'll make them easier to paint. I have that Vallejo True Metallic blue on the way. This has got a little bit of weird damage back here, so I'm gonna see if I can patch that up. I think I overbaked these parts because they have some pretty nasty layer lines. Still kind of getting my printers recalibrated. I think it's the new resin. I think it's the new 2.0 plant-based resin. It's got a little bit of a, I don't know, like it cures super fast. Like it's the timing's off or different. Good. Need to get these up on sticks, organized somehow. Okay. You need a patch. Oh yeah, you are definitely gonna need some patches, but yeah, I had where these trim that key down, where these arms had to start. It had so many islands that it like bunched up, so I made a nasty little divot here that I'm gonna have to fix. I want to get the arms attached first. So these little boots are good. Let's worry about that. Trim that key down. But the head is good. These are all good. I didn't have any issues with that. Quick inspection. Make sure I didn't miss anything obvious. After I get a primer coat on them, it'll reveal any sanding errors or anything. Alright, so these guys I'm gonna go take to the box, clip the keys off some, because sometimes the keys will swell, or more, I guess more to the point, the keyholes will swell, and makes it a little bit of a tight fit. So the easiest thing to do is just trim the top of the key off. It does not look pretty, but this is just for me, so I don't care. If I was making this for a client, I would sand it down and, you know, parts would be magnetized and all that jazz, but I'm just hobbying it right now. Just doing it because I like to do it. That key fits much better now. That's way better. The difference is actually going on there. It still feels like it's hitting something in there. There's a lot of damage. Oh well, it's going to be trimmed. Did want to sand that little guy down. Another great thing about this curing putty is basically as soon as you cure it, you can sand it and just go to town. And that bit is super, super nice. Got a hat on my UV goggles. Everything's still orange. A little bit of a sand. What's up, Salty Lou? How's it going? I'm back in the saddle finally. Been a long, been several weeks. I was just busy with stuff. I was waiting for I got a new light box, which is super sweet. I do like that very much. So that was that put me down for about a week. Do I have these? That. This one goes like this. Seems to match up. Everything else I can fill. Alright. Playing, Francis. Yeah, today's not going to be a painting day. I've gotten to the point where I don't really stream my production part of like all the sanding and stuff, because you're not really gaining anything by watching me sand things, but it's not and I can't sit in front of the chat either. So, I decided after doing the Superman statue with that crazy base that Wicked made with all the swirls and explosions and all the shit and the dog and everything, like I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something simple. So that's what these bases are, the simple bases. So it's just this one piece that Deadpool stands on, and this one little piece that Wolverine stands on. So super simple bases. And I was like, well, since they are going to be so simple, I decided to do these as a pair. They needed to be done as a pair. I already have a Deadpool 2 diorama that I made a couple years ago with Cable and Deadpool. I'm not doing a whole nother diorama base either, because those things it's ridiculous. Like, it's just enormous, and most of it's just bricks and explosions. So I'm kind of gonna steer away from doing that dioramas for a while, unless I just have one that's really cool. I do want to do I think I may do it next, since I'm kind of in the doing things in pairs kind of mood. Maybe that'll be my jam this year. Maybe I'll just start doing stuff in pairs. I did Crypto and Superman, doing these guys. Now I'm doing, so my next one I want to do Juggernaut and Colossus, since I have that really good chrome paint that I found. The what is it called? The Revell Chrome. It's just super nice. So I think I want to use it to do Colossus. But also, I'm running out of space to do like big statues too. I need to put up some new shells. I need to rearrange some things. So I may just do a couple small statues too. Although the Wicked, the new Wicked release with fucking Black Panther and Storm. The Storm on the, I'm not a fan of the throne statues, But if I do those as a pair, it's got Black Panther sitting on the throne and Storm kind of behind him. That's a rad looking statue, and I've been wanting to do a Storm for a while, and it's the one where she's got the black suit. But I've also got the version of where she's got the silver white kind of suit. So I just don't know if I want to deal with a whole bunch of transparent lightning bits. When I get, I got another thing planned, but when I get back, I'll have to decide what my next project is. You know what I should use? I should probably use a toothpick for this. I've seen a lot of people just take this in their, gloved hands and just mash it in there. I just feel like it just gets all over the place then. But until you cure it, you can just kind of remove it. So another thing I like about it is like the work time. Yeah, I got a toothpick. I need a little more precision than this thing is allowing for. Yeah, Colossus and Juggernaut, those are statues that I don't want to do those small. You know what I mean? Because that's their whole jam, is their size. And I know it's all relative, whatever. But I don't know. I've got a gigantic Galactus over here now. I feel like I would be doing them an injustice if I don't make them at least 1/6 scale. I don't think I could do a quarter size because I definitely don't have room for quarter scale. I need like a toothpick. Do I have a toothpick? There's one. Yeah, I wish I had more space. I quit mouth breathing. A yard statue. Maybe that's what I should do this summer. That's not a bad idea. I don't have an FDM printer though. That's the thing. Do something really big. That's another investment I'm considering this year. Is getting an FDM so that I can print big base stuff for dioramas and stuff, and just the occasional cosplay or life size thing I need, something like that. I'll definitely have a need for it, and they've gotten a lot better since I first bought a FDM printer. That was actually my first foray into 3D printing, was an FDM printer, but I hated it so much. I just did not enjoy the experience of FDM printing. Resin took me some getting used to, but I like the science of it, I like the precision, and I like the quality, and so it's kind of worth the extra effort of cleaning and curing and doing all the extra jazz. That's why I netted out with it. But anyway, I could definitely see the need for or see the use for a FDM printer. There was this it was, I can't remember the name now. Lord of the Rings, where the two guardian statues when they're going down the river, in the movie. Can't remember those king statues' names. That would be cool to put in the front of the driveway, though. But I think what I would end up doing is like FDM printing it, making a big ass mold, and then pouring concrete in it, or pouring some like cement. That's what I think that would be if I was doing a yard sculpture or yard statue. That's what I would do, is print it, like the full size that you want, and then make some molds, and then use something a little more agreeable with outdoor weather, because they have some really fine grit concrete that you could pour in, and then you could add rebar, and you could add all the hardware stuff that you would need to mount it in the ground or mount it wherever. That would be a fun mailbox project. Take a 3D model of a mailbox and then use that as a template to build a 3D model around it. To create a void in your model for a mailbox. You do all sorts of fun shit with that. I have it in my head. I want to do a Star Wars AT-AT, like with the mailbox in his butt. I have this in my head, and I've been debating on whether I want to teach myself how to weld and get into like metal work, or stick with what I know, which is 3D printing and casting and that kind of shit. Mold making and that kind of. Those molds would be project though. Holy shit, they would be gigantic. They would have to be gigantic. I mean, you have to pour it as one piece. But see, that for something like a big metal thing that's supposed to be metal, that I feel like should be welded metal, or at least pourable, some kind of pourable metal you can cast. Aluminum, maybe. Do a look aluminum shell. That wouldn't be too bad. Still have to get into smelting and a bunch of other fun little side projects, but that's what we do it for, right? To make stuff that other people would be like, what the hell are you doing? And he's like, it's just because just to make it. Some things just need to be made, and people are just makers. I love learning new stuff. That's why, like I said, that's why I was considering teaching myself how to, weld metal so that I could make a freaking mailbox. It's ridiculous. I know it's ridiculous. I say the words, they come out of my mouth. I hear them. They sound ridiculous. But I'm really close to doing it. Can't be that hard. Famous last words. Alright, I need something a little more robust than that. Q-tip there. Try to not flood it with a bunch of extra resin or extra putty. I don't need to, but because it is a seam already, so I don't have to worry about too much texture loss. That is true. The budget issue is a thing. But you only live once, right? You're for a good time, not a long time. I say be irresponsible. Be irresponsible with your money. You're not going to regret it. Well, you might. But probably not. Maybe don't listen to me. Except for when it comes to filling seams, because that is awesome. Oh, wait. There it is. That is true. I'm trying to decide if I need to do any more patchwork. A little more light. All right, Salty, take care, man. Thanks for hanging. Hell. Got it in there or not? I'll lose his belt. This spot's nasty. We'll get the easy stuff first, and then we'll work our way around to the nasty. Let's start. really be able to see any of this until I prime it. Alright, now I can fix these big holes. Hey baby, this is not very entertaining work today. This is just labor. But it's fun. Trying to replicate some of these wrinkles. This putty will obliterate the texture, but it's on the back side, so I'm not too worried about it. I do want to hold on to the wrinkle pattern though. That will just help conceal the texture damage. It's like you have to kind of control the amount of spread. It's got to spread enough that it blends in, but not so much so that you're covering over texture. That's good. I got one more vivid, but it's good. Said I really can't see what I'm doing until I prime it. Right now it all kind of looks, it's all kind of blending together right now. This big pop mark back here in the back. And then I can move on. Try to the other arm. Yeah, start with that arm. Yeah, so might be enough to fill it. So much that make it a mound. I'm gonna just use my finger. Yeah, this stuff is great. Now I got it. There we go. It's like it never happened. That was a pretty nasty chunk that needed to be repaired. Oh yeah, I can see it from this angle that I need to add a little bit more, I think. Maybe not. Maybe that's fine. It said it's back, so I don't need to worry about it too much. Cool. Cool. That was the only spots that needed fixing, right? The arms. Seams are closed. Got a drain hole patch. I don't know why I'm being so frugal with this. I got a bunch. right there missing. I'm glad I looked. I'm gonna count that one. Really super hard to tell if I fix that or not. I think I did. see what's happening in there. There's a lot of things happening in there, and I don't think I like any of it. But I can't see it. I think the way this is positioned, it's wrong foot. I think the way that this leg is positioned, it's facing down. Yeah, you're not gonna see any of that anyway. So, not gonna sweat it. I should give these a rinse. Wash all the little dust out of here. That's gonna mean drying time. Oh, look at that. Got a whole bunch of supports in there. It'll be fine. Alright. That hole's filled. That leg is patched. That is done. Got a air gun. Could just blow those things out. This little stiff brush seems to be doing pretty good now. Yeah, I had some extra crispy layers on this one. Probably reprint this. Oh, yeah. this. Don't want to mess up the texture too much. But there's some cracks in here that I definitely want to fill because I think this is either yellow or blue, but either way it's gonna show. So I would rather have spots of texture loss and just open holes. is actually pretty good at mimicking this suit texture. It's just leaving little bits of fiber in it. Not a problem. Well, this is his back anyway, so. Spots. This is why I usually don't stream this bit anymore, because it's not terribly exciting. You guys can't really see what I see as far as like down in this texture I'm trying to fix. Just a little bit so I don't have super shiny spots. Alright, that's good enough. What's up, Swedish Forge? Welcome to the chat. I'm not really chatting that much. I'm just sanding this thing down, trying to retain some of this texture in this suit. I had to repair a couple spots. little bald spots than have holes. All right. I think that was all I wanted to patch. That has a pretty good seam around it. Maybe this tiny little spot right here. I am working on a Wolverine and Deadpool. I decided to do them as a pair because these bases are super simple. I just finished a Superman, and it was very, very heavy on the base, and I decided I wanted to do something that was not so base heavy, and I needed a Wolverine in my life, so this is the first Wolverine I have, actually. So that looks good, I think. That sucks that leg is exposed, but I had a little bit of a printing issue with this leg. I don't know, the layers were too much, or the orientation was bad. I was just overcooking the layers, but there's some cracks, there's some lines in there that I don't particularly like. Not enough to do anything about it, though. I'm not going to reprint it or anything. Sure, the stuff on that leg looks good. Can't really see anything until I get it primed, which is where I'm hoping to get to today. If I can get this stuff sealed and primed, it's got to sit overnight, so it'll be the end of the session, and I got about 1 hour to do it. So just doing some last bit of quality control here. Oh, that's fun. A Yoda. How many models have I made and painted? Oh man, quite a few. Hold on, I'll give it a count. I don't know, over 20, 30 maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 17, 18, and 19. 2021, I'm gonna count that as 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. So this will be 41 and 42. That's a lot. That's a lot of statues. That can't be right. Is that right? Did I really just count? Did I really just count to 40? That's a lot of statues. Oh man, I got a problem. I do have a problem. I'm running out of space. Is the problem. But also that's a lot of statues. Oh god, this boot is rough looking. But I don't want to waste any time reprinting it. It adds up quickly. Oh, I forgot I'm gonna put a little seal around that base there. All right. Anyway, what was I doing? Hold on. All right. So before I took a head count, this is going to be gold, kind of. And this is going to be kind of a sand. So I'm going to keep these two pieces separate. This I think, is going to be one piece. So I'm going to go ahead and get this attached. And sealed. But also, where's my phone? I just heard I got a message. Noah's ring. All right, I'm gonna clean this up. Take a 5-minute health and safety break. Actually, let me go ahead and finish this. I'll finish this, and then we'll take a little break while I get my primer and everything set up. This doesn't matter all that much, does it? A little uneven, but I'm about to seal it. So it don't matter at all. Got a nice little puddle of blue here. It is very, very fun to do it. That's the problem. So what I think I'm going to need to start doing is making models for other people so that I can continue making models. Because you make all your figures in FDM? That's crazy. I need to get an FDM printer. I was just talking about this earlier. I need to get an FDM printer to do like big bases and stuff. Like something like this, I could have printed in an FDM and it probably would have been fine. My thing with FDM though is that I really hate seeing the layer lines. Like the little, and I know that I know the FDM printers have gotten really, really good. And if I did get one, I definitely would not cheap out. I would get the best one I could get. But I still feel like no matter how good they get, you're still going to see the lines. And I really hated, that was part of the thing I hated about FDM printing is like to get rid of those lines requires so much effort. I mean, on resin, you've got a couple spots. You've got your bottoms, you've got some little pock marks from your supports. But that's really all that you need to, deal with it. It's not like you got to sand down the whole thing or cover the whole thing to cover up, the lines to smooth everything out. I know they're easy, there's some methods easier than others. I've tried a couple, but I just got to the point where I just didn't want to deal with it. So, I mean, any time I can, gonna have resin, I'm gonna choose resin. However, that said, to do really, really big stuff, an FDM printer would come in handy. Like I've been looking at this Balrog and Gandalf diorama, and it's big. Like when you print out the whole thing, it's like to do it at the size I want to do it, it'll be something like 4 feet long. Something like that. It would be just ginormous. And so that, I mean, I would do the resin, I would do the figures in resin and do the base in FDM. And that probably wouldn't bother me too bad because, from a distance, it's fine. But I don't know. I like the clarity and the precision of resin more than I care about the size of the output. If I was doing cosplay or other stuff with it, that would be one thing. But for what I enjoy doing, which is this, um, I don't really have a need of an FDM printer, unless like I said, I just get a hankering to do something big, like like I said, I was talking earlier about doing casting, like doing using a 3D printer to print out your model, and then assemble it and everything, and then make a mold, so then you can go back in and cast it, cast in aluminum or silicone or concrete or whatever application you're working with. So yeah, do some outdoorsy stuff with some making some molds and using some concrete. Like doing quick set mortar would work. If you make a 2-part mold, that'll come apart pretty easily. Depending upon your cast line, where you gotta, your mold line, where you gotta put that. But that would be my use of an FDM printer to do big funky stuff. And if you're casting concrete or whatever, that's not going to have the viscosity to capture any layer lines or anything of that detail anyway, so that would be a perfect use. I'm being way too prescriptive with this. I just need to slap it on. It's rocks. I just don't want that gap. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Oh well, I mean, like you just build a little enclosure for your resin stuff. Like I took an old, like I took not an old, I took a new IKEA cabinet, and I cut a 3-inch, 4-inch duct in it, like a hole in the side, and I attached one of those grow tent um, air, you know, exhaust systems, air vent systems. Just attach it to that. You could go really nuts and like silicone all the edges and really seal button it up. But those ventilation systems are designed to move, to clear out a space 5 times the size of those cabinets. So I don't worry about it. It's moving the air outside. That's for damn sure. Um, but yeah, just an IKEA cabinet is really all you need. Some people just use the grow tents. I did consider that. I wanted a little something with a little more rigidity and um, you know that kind of thing. But I've seen people have success with like the grow tent setup. And that looks pretty good. So you can definitely do it. There is the issue with the alcohol smell. Some people don't like the alcohol, the IPA, but you can get water washable resin to deal with that. I use the plant-based resin from Anycubic. It's a low odor, supposedly, made from plant material. I don't know if that's just a gimmick. It probably is, but I don't know. It makes me feel better about it. So, and it's just they released a 2.0 formula, so they just like upgraded it, and it's for high speed machines, and not the MFEP, the whatever the new kind of FEP is, like for fast printing. Like they upgraded it for that, so now it prints super fast. Like it's getting to the point where I'm starting to question it, because it's like I've got my cure time down to like 18 seconds or 17 seconds or something, and it still seems like it's a lot. So on one of my machines, that's for like the base layer time I'm talking about. It should be up in the 20s, but I think I'm down to like 17 or something. So that kind of freaks me out. I think my actual cure time, layer cure time, I think is too high as well. So I'm still kind of recalibrating my machines for this update to the resin, which is why his boot looks like shit. But yeah, once you get the ventilation thing kind of, it does it. I will say this, for resin printing, like when I started off, a couple years ago, and I started with a really small printer just to get the hang of it. I'm glad I did that, because handling your vat, learning how to change the FEP, learning how to just the ins and outs of the machine, it was better to do it with a smaller one than these big monsters that I have right now. I love these big monsters that I have right now. I've got a M7 Premium or M7 Max and the M3 Premium. They both have really, really big build plates, and I love them very much. But I'm glad that I started off on a small machine and kind of worked my way up. And yeah, and at the time when I first got started, I didn't know anything about the ventilation. Like I literally had this shit sitting on my desk, like right next to my face. And I started as I learned more about it, and I realized I was being a dummy. I started looking into ventilation systems and that kind of thing. And so when I got a bigger printer, that was when I built my first cabinet, and that was an upcycle from an old cabinet, and it was small. It's perfect for what I used it for, but it was too small. And then so when I got my big boys, I decided to invest, and that's when I went out and bought an IKEA cabinet, bought the ventilation system and all that jazz. Upgraded the ventilation system, I should say. And yeah, haven't looked back, and it's great. Like you can't tell it's even running unless you hear the fan. Like you can't smell anything. My TV, I sit in here and watch TV. Like I sit in the same room with it, and that ventilation system it's moving the air outside for sure. There's no odor. And so the hardest part about dealing with resin is just getting into you have to kind of work out an assembly, like work out a process. Yeah, you have to kind of work out a process for all your PPE stuff. You have to work out not only your ventilation, but how you're handling, excess materials, how your curing station situation's got to be, set up. Just moving stuff around, how you deal with the waste, all that jazz. Excuse me. And it just takes a little while to kind of figure out what the best way to do it is. Like I was burning through latex gloves, changing them so often when I was handling just getting my prints off the machine, you know what I mean? And it was so wasteful. And so I changed over to using like those big heavy industrial rubber gloves, the big black ones that come up to your elbow. Like I got a set of those, and I just keep them, close to my resin machine. And those are the gloves that I can use and reuse because they're thick, like industrial rubber or whatever. So I just keep reusing those, and that's what I use to retrieve my prints and clean them. And I don't need the dexterity that I need for this work, so that's why I use the latex gloves to do this. But to just extract the pieces from the printer, those big rubber gloves are perfect. And I don't feel so bad that I'm burning through so many gloves. And yeah, like I said, you just kind of, like I've gotten that, and so now I'm at the point where I'm recycling. I've got a nice system for recycling IPA. I'm actually interested in it was one of the printer makers, or they're releasing a filtration bag. I think it's frozen. They're releasing a filtration bag for your IPA. Supposedly you can pour it through, and about 20 or 40 minutes or whatever, you have purified resin. It's still not clear, but it's better than cloudy resin filled alcohol. And so I tried several processes throughout the years, trying to make my own and do all that kind of jazz and recycle stuff. But yeah, you just like I said, you just kind of figure out what's going to work better for you and your setup. You're depending upon your city's disposal, waste disposal situations. Like I gotta dispose of alcohol at a chemical plant, that kind of stuff. You just work out little details. It's not too much, but it is important. And so now I've gotten to the point where I can just, after I get my model oriented and sliced and everything, I just stick in the jump drive and hit run and walk away. I don't even have to worry about it anymore. Like, you get your machines and everything all calibrated, and you get a little assembly line system. It makes the hobby more entertaining, for sure. I struggled with it for a while. Some people struggle with it and never figure it out, and they quit. And I feel bad for them, because understanding what's going on with your machine is another thing that I think most people don't take into consideration. Like, understanding the physics of what's happening inside the build plate so that you can diagnose problems. So many printing problems I see people with are like orientation issues, or they didn't put drain holes in, or just poor 3D printing techniques. It's not rocket science. I'm not trying to be like an elitist or something, but I'm just saying that there's some obvious things that people just skip right over, thinking they're just gonna stick in a jump drive and push a button and this thing is gonna come out and it's gonna be perfect. But no, that's not the case at all. You gotta know, you gotta understand what's happening so you can troubleshoot things, troubleshoot your problems, get a good high quality print. And it takes months sometimes, like, tweaking settings here and there. I can't, really put a time frame on how long it took for me to really feel comfortable with everything. but it was definitely longer than a year. Yeah, it does. It makes me sad when some people give up too soon. Almost done. And I'm just going to give this a blast of UV light all the way around. Yeah, and then with that grow tent exhaust system, it comes with timers. And so when I'm not printing, but there's still resin in the vat, I set it to really like the lowest cycle. Basically every hour it comes on for 10 minutes. And then that's just to vacate any buildup of resin fumes in the box. When I'm actively printing, I turn it up to I think it's like 30 minutes on and 30 minutes off or something like that. Like I turn it up because because the resin's being stirred around by the build plate coming up and down, so there's more shit getting in the air. Oh, and then just having an air purifier. Again, it may just be a placebo thing, but I got the ones that have like you need the what's it called, VOCs. That's the word I'm looking for. The VOC filtration, which are like the volatile organic particles, something like that, I think is what it stands for. But anyway, get you a room air filter or air cleaner, just to catch anything that may escape the exhaust. I did that just for peace of mind, but I keep it running over in the corner, but I don't think it's doing anything. It does catch a lot of smoke though, which is nice. Not that I smoke a lot, wink wink. But yeah, just takes a little bit of a setup. Definitely more so than FDM because of all the extra shit that you need and a little extra space. Got to be able to clean and cure your junk. I'm just rambling now. Question: the base I'm working on, is it a standalone base, or you put it? These are two standalone bases. I just finished that Superman statue, and that base was gigantic. Like it had explosions and caves and rocks and crystals and glowing logos, and I mean, it was just way too much. And so I was like, okay, for my next project, I'm just going to do something simple, like a simple base. And I wanted a Wolverine, so I landed on, doing the simple base for the Wolverine, and then I was like, well, I kind of got to do this in a pair, and so that's how I landed on doing these two, very simplistic bases here. So it's like it's just going to be these two. They don't come together or anything. They are parts. They are parts of a bigger diorama, but I'm not doing the whole diorama. I learned my lesson from doing a Deadpool 2 diorama. It's just a lot of extra work, and it makes it hard to display because you can't move the guys around. So I wanted to just do a couple simple statues this time around. Honestly, this paint job is not going to take me long. Like, I mean, it's pretty straightforward stuff here once I get rolling. Like, this is all going to be one color. The base over here for Wolverine is going to be the same color as this. So all that's going to get all done at the same time. The 20th Century Fox thing is going to be its own separate kind of gold color, but it should be. But again, it's just spray on color and then a wash and then maybe some dry brush highlights. That's pretty much all I'm going to do. So the bases will be done first. Pushed all that in there and I did not want to do that. Because I'm yammering and not concentrating. I'm going to build that up a little bit more too. I don't like that. The depth of that seam. This is all going to be one color. Sculpting this in a little bit. All right, nobody cares about the base. Although I don't think anybody can see them. Just in case. Cap them off. Diorama base on this statue is kind of funny though. I might regret not doing it. Got like a Honda Odyssey grill parts and you know, a bunch of other movie references. I think there's that little helicopter Deadpool, little flying head Deadpool, and I think there's a baby Deadpool on there. I was considering doing Lady Deadpool in this set, but I thought that'd be too much. These two guys this feels like a good singular project. So, all right, that's it for the gap filling portion of the project. Now I'm gonna go set up my airbrush station, get some priming done. That'll be that. 20 minutes. Okay, second thought. I don't want to get into it. I can't get that done in 20 minutes. So, I will do the priming off camera after I get back. And then pick this back up on Monday night. The primer will be dry. And I'll be ready to get back to business. Probably get these bases knocked out Monday night. That's how I gotta get through dust. Well, actually, since I am gonna be, I don't know, I'll do it tonight. I say since I was gonna do this, I could give these all a wash, which is what I should do, but I don't want to deal with drying time. All right. Put away that. Hold on, this toothpick. I don't care. There's a little hole in the back of that 20th Century Fox logo, but I'm not too worried about that. Nobody's gonna be looking down there. You're looking at this rad ass Deadpool. All right. This last 20 minutes. And put some stuff up on sticks. I don't know if I have enough sticks. Some of these may have to double up. That situation is going to work. I'm the Wolverine, motherfucker. I had to put a drain hole like inside of his mouth. Right there, you can kind of see it. I'm not gonna worry about filling it in. It's gonna be dark in there. Is it from Wicked? Yes, yeah. The majority of my models are from Wicked. I started with them back in the day, and I've got such a huge backlog of models now from them. So yeah, the majority, 90% of my models are from them. I do have a few that are not Wicked. I did a couple LA figures models, small stuff. I did a couple. I've done a couple CA Studio models. But yeah, the majority are Berserk and Wicked. I like their for what I just said earlier about the amount of work it takes to do those bases. I do enjoy doing the bases. You know, I think it adds a lot to the stack. That's one of the reasons why I stuck with them. Is that they do more ornate stuff. But occasionally I need a what is it called, a studio pose or museum pose or what do you call it, and like I have a couple quarter scale cutouts in my living room or my TV area, and those needed to be more vertical, and so for those I went with LA figures, I think, for a couple. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I got that. I've got their Yoda on my list. The Yoda and Emperor Palpatine diorama. I actually want to do that whole diorama. That'll just be a lot of electrical, and that's another thing I'm kind of like not into right now. But next time I'm feeling the itch to run some LEDs. All right. Now, for the bigger body parts, let's spread this out. Too concentrated. Oh, come here. If these Wolverine claws ever fall and break, I will be very, very upset, because they are super nice right now. All right, slide that off to the side. This off to the side. For these bigger pieces, I'm gonna hang them on some hooks, on my meat hooks. Yeah. Their Patreon, they do several models per month. That's another thing too. They really crank out the models. you get a bunch. But yeah, it's basically like a subscription thing. Yeah, like you do you know how Patreon works. I don't have to tell you that. They do movie stuff. They also do video game stuff. They actually have a Metroid Samus statue that I really kind of want to do. I was a huge Metroid fan back in the day. So that one, I know they just did Metroid. They did Donkey Kong Country. I think they've done some Resident Evil. They've done a bunch of video game things. They also do movie terms. They do movie statues in some of their terms. Like they just released like Karate Kid statues. They did a Bloodsport statue. Again, that also has a special place in my heart. I may have to do that Bloodsport statue. Little Jean-Claude Van Damme action. And yeah, and what's cool too is like they have that like you can sell anything that you make. Obviously, you can't sell the Patreon files themselves, but anything you print, you can sell. They don't give you any crap about that. And yeah, it's just a lot. Just a lot of it. That's my thing. Is like I've got. Like I said, I seriously, I have a backlog of statues that's from them. That's crazy. Can't really sleep out. Bend it just a little bit more. Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris. Yeah, I think they've got a Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris. Yeah, I know they got a Bruce Lee. I don't know about a Chuck. Feels weird suspending them like that, but that'll work. Alrighty. We are ready to be primed. Okay, my desk has been dark this whole time. Well, it's okay. I don't need too much of that footage. Oh, I see. I got some layer lines right there. Going through his little mask. I don't know if I want to deal with that or not. Kind of dark and stuff. That's fine. Alrighty, well, that is going to be my show for today. Said I got to go run an errand and then get these things primed. And I have learned over the years that you cannot rush the priming job. Like you gotta prime these things, and they gotta sit for at least 12 hours. No, at least 10 hours. But I usually keep them overnight. The foundation layer, you gotta really make sure that that's on there before you do anything else. And then that gives you an opportunity to catch any other priming or any other sanding mistakes or any other blemishes at the priming stage. So I don't want to rush it. So I'm going to be doing that tonight. Take my time. Maybe I'll have a beer, do a little quality control, and then Monday, come back Switch Forge. Come back on Monday night and or tomorrow night. I don't know what time zone you're in. But come back tomorrow night, and hopefully I can, I'll be painting this bad boy. All right. If you sell the figures, can I also sell the STL? No, that's the thing. You can't sell the STL files. They will not let you do that. But that makes sense, right? But you can run off 100 Wolverines and sell them if you want. do whatever. And they're really good too. They just have good customer service and everything. And they're good dudes. Like watching their live streams and stuff. Like it's been really cool over the years to watch their business grow, and to be part of that. Even if it's only $10 a month, which is another thing too. They're one of the cheaper Patreons for this kind of stuff. Not cheaper, but they have a really good price point, and yeah, can't recommend them enough. So anyway, with that, I'm gonna bounce. I will catch you on the flippity flop, and yeah, I'll catch you on the next one, and we'll see where things go. Later.